Welcome back. As we begin the summer tourist season, let's take a look at the island of Nantucket, the setting for this week's episode, One Crazy Summer, starring John Cusack and Demi Moore, along with a cast of miscreants who turn Nantucket into an 80s party spot. Due to tourists like Hoops and the seasonal residents, the population of the island increases to about 80,000 during peak summer months. And as Hoops learned, Nantucket is accessible by boat, ferry, or airplane. So hopefully those tourists are not afraid of water and can, if needed, outrun a motorcycle gang. Nantucket is known for two things: that limerick about the man from Nantucket and its whaling industry. And I'm not going to be focusing on a filthy limerick, so whaling history it is. Before our modern conveniences like energy efficient LED bulbs, we needed whale oil to heat our homes, illuminate our writing desks, and yes, season our food. In his 1835 history of Nantucket Island, Obed Macy wrote, in 1672, a whale entered the harbor and was pursued and killed by settlers. This event spurred the Nantucket whaling industry. The species hunted by early settlers was the gray whale that has since flourished on the west coast of North America in modern times due to protections from whaling. At the beginning of the 18th century, whaling on Nantucket was usually done from small boats launched from the island's shore that would tow whales to be processed on the beach. Not a pretty sight. And those boats were about 7 meters long, with most Wampanoag manpower sourced from a system of debt servitude established by English Nantucketeers. All around, I'm seeing no problems yet. Hashtag sarcasm. And a typical boat's crew had 5 Wampanoag oarsmen and a single white Nantucketeer at the steering oar. Author Nathaniel Philbrook notes that, quote, without the native population, which outnumbered the white population well into the 1720s, Nantucket Island would never have become a successful whaling port, end quote. Interestingly enough, during the American Revolution, Nantucket's dependence on the whaling trade with Britain influenced its citizens to remain neutral during the war. And Herman Melville, the famed author, commented on Nantucket's whaling dominance in Moby Dick. Quote, 2/3 of this globe are the Nantucketeers, for the sea is his. He owns it as emperors own empires. And in the book, Captain Ahab and Starbuck are both from Nantucket, and yes, that Starbuck inspired the name of maybe your favorite coffee shop. And Nantucket Island suffered great economic hardships worsened by the Great Fire of July 13, 1846, that, fueled by the abundance of whale oil and lumber in the area, devastated the main town, burning some 40 acres. Sadly, the fire left hundreds homeless and poverty-stricken, and because of this, many people left the island. And by 1850, thanks to the electrification effort of America, whaling was in decline. And the American Civil War dealt the death blow to Nantucket's whaling industry dominance when the remaining whaling vessels were destroyed by Confederate commerce raiders. In One Crazy Summer, we saw John Cusack's Hoops admit a fear of water, and to that end, Nantucket was not an ideal location for him because from 1900 to 1918, Nantucket was one of the few jurisdictions in the United States that banned automobiles. Thus, The only way you could enter an island at that point was via a boat. But once Hoops and his buddies made it to Nantucket, we saw them enjoy the local beaches and hotspots, including when George was buried in the sand, his buddy Egg got caught in a Godzilla costume, and all other sorts of shenanigans in this crazy summer in Nantucket. Oh, and by the way, Nantucket is served by the Nantucket Memorial Airport, ACK, thus providing the name of his cohort, Ack, played by Curtis Armstrong, who you might remember as Booger in the Revenge of the Nerds films. And however you feel about One Crazy Summer, you cannot deny the beauty of Nantucket that was captured in the movie. So as you might guess, Nantucket is renowned for its scenic beauty, history, and iconic summer shenanigans. And the island has certainly had its moment in the pop culture sun. One Crazy Summer showed us the teenage shenanigans on the island, while a few years later, the familial, romantic, and professional shenanigans that exist on the island came to us courtesy of Wings, the popular sitcom set on Nantucket running from 1990 to 1997. So the next time you're in the mood for history, shenanigans, and some summer lovin' on a beach town, look no further than Nantucket. Until then, go ahead and give the subscribe button a harpoon so you never miss anything from us. As you know, you can find the Real Relationships podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. And new episodes premiere every Thursday. We are in the midst of Summer Lovin'. Up next is Summer School with Kirstie Alley and Mark Harmon. And we can't wait to bring you more summer lovin' shenanigans and just more great content. Also, new episodes of this show premieres every Thursday on YouTube, so you will want to hit that subscribe button. You will want to follow us on Facebook. We appreciate our listeners, our viewers, our friends, our supporters. As always, stay safe. Don't let a motorcycle gang chase you. We'll see you soon.